Hey everybody, Brian here. In this video I want to show you this car here. This is 2019 and this is a Skoda Kodiak Ambition. This video is going to be useful for somebody that is in Ireland and thinking about buying this car, or if you're on YouTube and you're just curious about these types of cars, then the video might be useful as well. And also, if there's any information you want, just let me know in the comment section below and I'll do my best to answer those questions. If you are in Ireland and you're thinking about buying a car like this and you want to know more, even about trading in your car or financing or information about this actual car, call, text, WhatsApp, direct is the best way. 086 843 1945. Brian is my name. So what we're going to do in the video is I'm going to show you around some of the features on the outside of the car, and then we'll go for driving the car, and then we'll have a look around the features on the inside of the car as well. So these Kodiaks, the first thing that always kind of stands out to me when I see them is they're a really big car, and I suppose anyone that's looking to buy a car like this, they want space, and obviously in this case 7 seats as well. It's got a big imposing grille on the front, and then a nice double optic headlight setup, which means your fulls and your dips are separate, so it gives you excellent light on the road. There's front fog lights down below here, and then these are a nice LED daytime running light in through here. The engine on this car then is a 2-litre diesel that is 150 horsepower. It has that automatic DCT transmission, and realistic fuel efficiency on a car like this, from what I've experienced, I just had a short drive, maybe 200-300 kilometers, and that car seems to be averaging somewhere in the region of about 6.5 litres per 100 kilometers. That's in the mid kind of 40s miles per gallon, but I'm sure you can do better if you're economical about your driving. Road tax for the year in a car like this then is 280 quid, which actually isn't bad because this is in that bigger 7-seater segment, so most of those cars can tend to attract slightly higher tax rates, so 280 I think is very good. It's such a big car in real life, so a couple of things I like on them. I like those big roof rails from front to rear, which are kind of a brushed aluminium, and then you can get bars if you want to put a roof box on top. This one has a mildly tinted privacy glass setup on the rear, and then there's nice chrome all the way around the windows as well. The rear of the car then gets those really distinctive LED taillights on the rear, and again, just the impression I get is, looking at the car, it's just a very big tall car. One absolutely really super cool feature is along here. So you see this door protector? How cool is that? As you open up the door, so close the door, it goes away. This pops out to protect. So many cars get traded into us with those door edges all scratched up. That is an absolutely amazingly clever feature on that car. And in terms of the rear then, there is lighting over here, there is lighting over there, and there's a third light here, which immediately you might think, yeah, okay, why is there a third light? It's a torch. How cool is that? There's actually a torch that also sits in as a normal light as well. The boot's absolutely massive, so there is 7 seats obviously, but just in the previous owner actually on this car used to use it as a large booted car rather than a 7-seater, and the boot area, like the Tiguan and probably Traco and all that kind of stuff, which are similar cars, very very long. One thing then actually I've noticed on these, now this car is not clean yet, so do forgive me, this needs to be hoovered and all that kind of stuff. Previous owner actually played golf a lot, so just a little bit of golf dust in there. There's actually a boot. A lot of these 7-seaters, it comes all the way to the back, but this one's not too bad. There's actually a boot there when you use the 7 seats. In terms of access into the rear, well, like every 7-seater, unfortunately it's not glamorous. So I pull this here, the seat slides forward, and same idea again, there's a little bit of golf dust in here. The rear seats, I'd say, we're never using this car. Right, as an adult, you'd be just at nothing sitting in here, so it really is for young kids. However, those seats in front of me do go on a rail backwards and forwards. There is more room in, say, like a Santa Fe or something like that. It will be a bigger car in the rear. However, the boot will be smaller when the 7 seats are up, so what they've done here probably is have the rear seats move forward a little bit to have more of a boot, and the back seat is really for young kids. When you're using 7-seaters, really the trick is to use this bar down under here, and what you do then is you mix and match. So you might move half this side forward, leave the other half back, and those ones are fixed in the rear, so you just try and move around and be kind of flexible. There's nice lighting under here as well at night time, which is pretty cool. It's the same in the front as well. In terms of actual size though, one thing I noticed about these Skodas and Volkswagens and stuff, the floor well's always really deep. So what I mean by that is when you're sitting in the back, right, like the legroom is awesome, right, to be fair, the headroom is really excellent, but you kind of sit upright because the floor is so deep, and actually I don't know how to describe it, it just makes the car feel way bigger, because it is, I suppose. Other things I noticed in this then is there is a ventilation in the rear, which you can control from the rear as well. Kangaroo pockets on either side. People that used to own this car, their family was well grown up, so they actually bought this car because it was high off the ground and it had a big boot for golf clubs. So when we get it cleaned up, it's going to be in really nice condition. There's a big armrest in the centre with drinks holder, and as well then there's Isofix over here, and Isofix over through there as well. So actually anyone that's using child seats, I had the car home over the weekend and I used the child seat in the back of it, and as you can see there's still a good amount of leg room for the legs when they're sitting in the back, so very, very useful that way. Over through the front then, usual stuff like electrics for windows and mirrors. The seat is completely height adjustable and it gets up very high. Lumbar support is over here, and your passenger seat also has lumbar support, so you can get excellent rear back support for both front seats. The headlights are automatic. There is a start stop button over through here, and there's that really nice 7-speed automatic DSG gearbox, some storage, some more storage, an armrest in through here, and then dual zone heating controls, so different temperatures on each side of the car. There's also front heated seats as well, and I love these infotainment systems. We'll see as we're driving, but the infotainment systems from this generation, they're really smooth in how they work. I don't know, however you describe that. See the way when you touch it, so it's very nice, it's very easy to use. The car also has a big parking camera, and it'll have rear sensors and also front facing parking sensors as well, which are not over here actually. That's where they are in Hyundai, sorry. It's over here, so it shows you what's going on, so it's pretty nice. In terms of driving the car, so this is 2 litre, 150 horsepower, and that DSG gearbox is really nice in terms of how it changes. I really like these Volkswagen Audi kind of style gearboxes. So acceleration, and like this is a big car, but look how quickly the gear changes. It's really satisfying, but in terms of, I suppose, a practical kind of end of things, it actually accelerates really well. So when you're going from 0, or if you want to get up to 120 kilometers an hour on a motorway. So in terms of features on the car then, you can see here there's a multi-trip information display. Pretty easy to use. Just takes, I find with these, once you get the knack of it, it's really good, but it's really clear. It's basic looking, but it's very, very, very clear. And we saw already, I really like the infotainment system on this series of Skoda. So I just like the way it's really clear, well laid out. It's quite simple to use. It's nice to touch and swipe. Just some of these screens are nice and some of them aren't, but these are. And you see here, you can dab along when you're listening to songs. You can go to any part of the song. Not enough cars have that, where I love flicking. So I found it really handy. And then there's actually some good voice commands. Now you have to learn the voice commands, but they are there if you want to use other features in the car, not just Bluetooth from voice activation. When you're driving the car on a motorway, well actually when you're driving the car anywhere, it feels very tall. And we sell other cars like Santa Fe and stuff here, brand new. There's something about these cars that it just makes you feel, it just feels very, very tall. And maybe it's the way I had this car set, but it's quite nice. And like I was saying to you, everything's pretty much within your reach. The gearbox as well, if you want, you have a manual mode, if you want to manually override and change gears yourself. Most people probably won't, but as I was saying, it's a brilliant gearbox in how quickly it changes and uses the power that's in the car already when you just leave it in a full automatic mode anyway. One thing I find in these German cars, the cruise control is over here with the speed limiter. It just takes a little bit of getting used to, but once you know what you're at, it's fine. Anyway, that is our Skoda Kodiak 7-seater diesel 2-litre Ambition. If there's any information you want on the car, call, text, WhatsApp 086 843 1945. If you want information about your trading in your car or scrappage or financing or this car in particular or how we do after sales, give me a shout. Brian's my name. Call, text or WhatsApp. Thanks for watching, guys.